Okay, so. If you're time won't get you down, no. Time won't get you down. So why are you standing there upside down in the rain? Where all is everything is and my intuition's coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Record. I see. I didn't press record. Now it's recording. Good. It's working. Okay. Quick is quick and fast is fast and time will never last, and it does not matter how quick or fast you can keep up with witchcraft. If all is everything and everything is you, there ain't nothing you cannot choose or do, but be careful what you choose and be careful what you do, 'cause your reflection is always you in the mirror. Shapeshifter, water bearer, baby, walk on the air, way up there in the atmosphere. Just don't you try it, walk on the water, oh, if you don't know how you might drown, you might drown. Okay, welcome. So, if you are new here, which you probably are because I'm only just starting up my YouTube channel, my name is Niko T. I am an Australian artist and psychic medium. And today my friend Salwa is joining me because we thought it would be interesting to have a chat and reading conversation like we normally would. But for 12/12, it's the 12th of December today, 2025, we thought it would be interesting to record and set the intention to do a general reading of the upcoming year. So tune into 2026 and essentially see what is coming up for the year ahead of us. And with that intention in mind, I was automatically getting a bunch of downloads to also talk about the rest of the year and anything that's going to be coming up at the rest of the year, because there's some stuff that wants to come through straight away. But Salwa, do you want to say hi and introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hello everyone, it's so lovely to create this space with you, Niko. My name is Salwa. I am a North African native Amazigh from Morocco. I was raised in Australia and I'm passionate about Indigenous healing sciences and lineages. I'm also a holistic psychotherapist and counsellor.
Amazing. And I'll just give you a bit of background. So me and Salwa have been on, I'd say, like, where we have our own spiritual past, but there was like a certain time when we like crossed paths and became friends. And you know what? I just wanted to bring that up actually because I know Salwa from this artwork. She actually resonated with this artwork and reached out to me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
it was a little bit more than resonating. I was doing past life regression on my own at home, and I was having really vivid imagery of exactly swimming in the Nile River on nighttime, and there were stars everywhere, and I could stare at pyramids, and that actually even looks like it actually looks a little bit like me as well, from when I had shorter hair. And I was so intrigued by the visions that came to me. So I went in on Etsy to look for Egyptian art. And that was the first thing that came up. I was shocked. I had to find out who drew that immediately.
Yeah. Oh my god, I also have, this is so crazy. I'm gonna shut this, sorry. Keep the energy in here, /sound. But I never have I always reorganize my space, like the altar space, and I've got the book, which has the original drawing. So yeah, Salwa reached out to me because of this artwork, and essentially we have been connecting since then, sitting and having chats and doing readings and even healing sessions on each other, and basically developing our practices and our friendship, even though we still haven't met up in person yet.
No, not at all.
So that.
And if you haven't checked out Niko's art, please do. It's breathtaking.
Thank you. So, okay. So, we're tuning to a general reading, and we're going to have a conversation about the rest of the year in 2026. And Salwa is going to basically chat with me as we usually do in a reading, so ask questions, offer perspective if anything's coming through. And she did prepare some questions, which I think is a great intention for the reading. So we'll get into that shortly, but I'm just going to start with some channeled messages that are just already on me, on my shoulder. I can feel it on my shoulder already. So, next year is all about forward momentum, forward focus. It's like when things start to take off. This is like after gears have clicked, we're moving ahead. Because of this, the rest of the year is going to contain any circumstances or moments that likely make you address things that have been right in front of you before the year closes out. This is a big purging energy coming through. So the main message coming in right now is to be on board with that, to understand any heightened sensitivity basically that comes up at this time. Especially if you're why am I so emotional about a specific thing right now? It's because it needs to be addressed or released. For the upcoming year, because essentially 2026 is when we put a lot of forward moving focus and actions into plans. So there's going to be a lot of things that pick up very, very quickly is what I'm getting. And there's also going to be some collective things that pick up very, very quickly that actually will impact everyone. In terms of politics and stuff like this, we're moving into a year when essentially people become very firm on what they stand for and what they don't stand for. So people are actually putting action behind the things that they have been suppressing in the past or not acting on. People have become very clear in 2025 on what doesn't align with them, what doesn't work for them, and there's not going to be a room for falling or stepping back from where you stand essentially in the next year. It's about becoming firm in your purpose, your passion, and what you believe and where you stand in terms of world politics. And there's definitely a big energy of the empaths, the sensitives, the shamanic witches, etc., are all going to be very, very active, very, very emotional, and it's going to be very, very different for some people to witness who are quite resistant to emotions, or people standing up, because there's like an anger that is almost felt, like divine anger in the right alignment and balance. So there's going to be certain injustices that people just cannot let happen anymore. There'll be people standing up for things that are true and just and fair in terms of the environment and other people. We're not going to be tolerating misbehavior of the environment and just our fellow human people, is how this is coming up. So there's going to be a bit of certain situations where there's a bit of like uproar, because it's like divine intervention, divine anger does come through. It's like a divine expression of masculinity. So when I feel into 2026, 2025 has more of a feminine energy to it. It's more receptive and reflective, even though we've been in a purging phase. Some people feel like things have been happening to them. It's actually quite more feminine. This is year of the fire horse. So this is all about passion. This is all about heat. This is all about, it's actually quite emotional, like true emotion and expressing emotions. People will not be sweeping things under the rug as much as they used to. They won't really have the opportunity, because other people will be vocalizing, expressing, and acting on things that really put change into perspective on a global scale. I'm talking about finances, resources, and what ends up happening environmentally. It's going to cause, I'm getting now, like, what's coming up for me environmentally is going to cause people to look straight at like the current authority figures in a very, very different light. It's like we no longer can justify or gaslight that they know all the answers and the structure and the path. There's going to be more this turning towards our local empaths, healers, to see what they're getting, what their perspective is. And there's also this big initiation for people to step into their spirituality and their own truth, and to rely and stand firm on their beliefs and their own intuition, rather than following along with what is decided on like a political global level. Okay, I feel like that came out of me, so you can chat if you want.
So many gold nuggets there, Jack, and I feel like the politics was going to come up sooner or later, but I did want to ask you a question. So what I'm witness collectively, the higher powers at hand, the, let's say, darkness, loves separation. Me versus you. You're either pro this or against this, Democratic, Republican. So how are we going to move away from this separation that they've pushed to the limit? I feel like it's at its limit, and it's no longer working, attacking each other. So how can we move away from that?
So the first thing that I want to say is motives, because that's like a key word that is just like on my shoulder, on my ear, like motives. People's motives becoming very, very clear. It's not going to be about you versus me anymore. It's going to be, we're all in this situation together, and we're all going to be piecing things together and taking responsibility for our part and doing this sort of together. But we're also going to be working with a little bit of conflict. But the people in general, there's this feeling of the people being together, and the authority is like, any thing that is darkness or out of alignment is going to come out in daylight. It's going to be very clear people's motives, especially if there is economic collapse or something like this coming into play in certain countries, in certain circumstances, because there's this, like, I'm getting like the pendulum here, but like I know I haven't used it, but I'm getting yes on this whole thing about like equal reciprocity on a global level, which talks about resources being distributed and trade being addressed as equal reciprocity needs to be valued here. Yes, we have different resources. Yes, countries require different things or running currently of different things, but there's going to be this whole focus on reciprocity, and it's not going to be abstract when it happens. It's going to be very clear who and what is not choosing reciprocity, and there's going to no longer be this acceptance of that situation. It's almost like people are actually fleeing and moving away from anywhere where there's dictators, there's politicians that are exploiting the people because they've just had enough, honestly. So yeah, sorry, my last little thing, you talk, but there's like, it's almost like some things that are toxic that people are turning away from are gonna go away, but those toxic things that are getting a lot of momentum and energy still, it's like your motives are gonna be so clear this year to the people, to the public, that it's not gonna, you're not going to be able to hold them and puppeteer and orchestrate events the way that they were before. Because we're going to stand strong together. And we're following our intuition, and we're actually like, there's this whole energy in this year. It's like, it's not so abstract for us anymore. We actually can see and know what to do in certain situations, like what we can act on. It's not about like this confusion anymore. It's people actually being quite intuitive, which is like a whole other thing that we can get into, is like the help, because this is like a very highlighted year for, I would say, extraterrestrial activity. If you are someone who, you know, is a bit scared of extraterrestrials, they are essentially other perspectives, other branches of consciousness that are often even like they're angels, honestly. Most people who think that entities that are aliens, they are other beings that exist outside this ecosystem who feed into this environment, this ecosystem. And they understand what's going on within this ecosystem, and they're here to cater to that, especially with what's going on environmentally. There's like a lot of things that we're gonna get help with, because there's like this thing highlighted with like certain people might have to get moving with where they are at when they need to. So if there's any environmental situations like natural disasters, we're going to be getting help, we're going to be getting guidance. The resources are going to be able to come through, but we're going to literally be hands-on working with each other through this process. It's not to say that there's going to be like an end of the world situation, but there's this feeling of like there's pockets of activity in certain parts of the world. I'm also feeling like into Japan, honestly, right now is being highlighted to me. And yeah, both like the northern hemisphere and like Antarctica is very much highlighted too at this time. But it's like, I would say globally there's more activity upward of the planet is what I'm feeling now.
You probably tap it into the ley lines of the grid, the planetary grid. So I've met people in my journey that their sole purpose was to activate the ley lines again and energize them and cleanse them from any negative energy, so that they're powerful vortexes again, and they're clearing out the spaces and the communities around us.
I just felt inspired to share this because this is like, I feel like highlighting what you're saying and almost your reflection then, because this is about energy. This perspective is about energy and its arrangement and the earth energy being utilized for power, electricity, which I feel into when you say all this. It's like we're actually going to get help with how to work with what's going on, rather than being like, oh, we need to manipulate the environment to cater to something that it shouldn't, where it shouldn't. We're going to go live here because it's good for that, and these resources, these energy sources, we need to actually utilize with the environment, with the earth consciousness incorporated, which is where the extraterrestrial help comes in. There's going to be a lot of activation with seers and channelers with practical advice on what we can do with the resources that we have.
I mean, I think this is quite beautiful because we're seeing the bigger picture, which will help us to move into the individual picture, because everything that's reflected in the collective is also on an individual like layer as well. And what we spoke about before was the separation, the me against you, and that could go into fragmentation within us as well, right? So how do we move again from that inner separation and fragmentation to wholeness?
So with this, okay, I'm actually getting, so the whole energy of 2026 is almost like a bit of an extroverted year. So what you'll actually find is that you'll now experience more leaning towards your inner world being worked on externally. So there's like something really being highlighted with emotional and relationship dynamics in individual people's lives. So being a match to people who bring up these fragmented aspects of you that need to be worked with, need to be addressed, need to be healed, or aren't being incorporated or activated. We have these other aspects of our being that were fragmented from, not because like it's still trauma, but it's also just this aspect of you wasn't put to use because no one was in society was like, this is valuable, we're going to utilize this. Often it's suppressed or it's just not encouraged at all. So it's waiting, but it's going to be active and it's going to come up in relationships, and it's going to feel the energy that we're coming into. It's more extroverted. It's more like we should feel a shift out of isolation. We should feel a shift out of isolation in this year. And I almost didn't want to say that, because it's not to say that there's going to be external pressure put on us that will, how do I vocalize that? It's like there could be external pressure that will try to make us fragmented and isolated, but where the energy of the year is people not choosing that, people not doing that, things happening where we're turning to each other again. And there's also like something's coming in with like technology. Like there could be some real weird glitch in like social media or the internet and computers that just makes people really like check themselves and get off technology as much and be talking to each other again and be working on things away from technology. We're still going to be working with technology, but there's almost going to be like it's like a reveal or a glitch. Something that's not supposed to be in public view may come into public view in terms of technology. Okay, but I did want to tune into you and see if you have any questions for people specifically with where you were at and these like heightened themes that you feel into with people in different circumstances.
Okay. So, just to explain a little bit to anyone watching, I find that tuning into the collective process is not such a difficult thing once you strip out all the layers of identification and mind operating. So when I see my clients in holistic therapy sessions, there's always themes. Sometimes it's ridiculous. It's like the same thing over and over. I might be a little bit biased because a lot of my clients are under 40, around like 20s, 30s, up to 40. But it feels like after a year of the dragon and after the year of the snake, it feels like people who are on the path have been dealing with some pretty intense karmic ties and karmic cycles. And the sentence I keep hearing, like each time, is it just keeps coming.
Yes.
It
Yes.
feels like
Yes. It
just didn't stop.
This so works with what I'm going. Okay. So in this coming year, there's like almost like I pulled some cards and there's some keywords: gentleness, peace, and creative writing. And I'm gonna show them to you. But here's actually what I was getting.
Does resonate personally.
Is oh my god, I so went blank then, but that's okay because I'm a channel and this always happens when the channel's coming in. Channel happens all the time. Channel. Something on your mind. Okay. So there's like a subtlety, there's a peace, there's a gentleness here because there's a stripping back of this. So I gotta back this up a little bit. In the future, people are going to be relying more on their talents, their instincts, and their intuition, and they're going to be putting this into practice. And on a community level, we're going to become more aware of people's place, as in their specialty, what they're good at, what they want to feed their energy into, and what they want to do. So that's the whole gentleness and peace that's coming in. It's more people feeling like they have a place, more people feeling like they have access to equal reciprocity, even though unfortunately that's not going to be the case for the whole globe. I'm just going to say that right now. Struggles. You're talking about these struggles. It's like it's never ending. There's this theme, there's this pattern.
Intense karmic. It feels very karmic as well.
Yes. So these years are preparing us for this forward-moving, action-orientated year, which is all about change and things basically coming back to community. And to do that, individuals are going to have to be able to stand firm on their own. So all this shit that is like repetitive and is like, oh my god, same thing again and again and again and again. You're getting tougher. You've been in boot camp, and this is training so that when the teacher goes tell you to do something, you question them if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. That's the kind of energy. It's like, it's very like, you've been trained, this has been hardcore, yes, it's been like boot camp, but there's this peace coming in because the peace is knowing, oh, I can handle this. Oh, I'm not going to lose my stability in this situation because I know where I stand firm and what I stand for. And there's a bit of peace because it's like, it's not to say that like everything's going to be peaceful, but we're going to be able to navigate it a bit more peacefully because we know what we stand for and what we can do, and we have a bit more internal reliance on our intuition and our guidance system. So there's a little bit of clearing of this experience of like hardships, things not going right, and it's basically making it so that you master whatever you're having an issue with. So if anyone is watching this and they don't know what their purpose is, what they're good at, what they should focus on, please feel inspired to reflect on what you've been struggling with. Reflect on what it has been teaching you about yourself and start to see what the value is in that and what purpose is in that. And I'll like talk from experience. I used to be a web designer, graphic designer, artist. And then I had my dark night of the soul. I had PTSD episodes where I was reliving all the childhood memories that haunt me because they hadn't been healed and released. I was storing so much in my body. And even if I look at photos or look at my face when I was like a year ago, even though I was younger, I can see the trauma in my face and it's released. But what I'm saying with that is I changed my whole path, but I'm implying the value of what I learned from what I walked away from. So I was a web designer, graphic designer. What does that mean? I'm someone who's good with perspective, with visuals, with expressing things, with storytelling. And I also have my, like, I won't get into all my trauma, but I'm someone who used to get bashed, bullied. I was always alone and isolated. I used to run a business by myself and not know how I was going to pay rent sometimes because my clients would be months out from their invoices because they'd be behind on their invoices. But I would have a bunch of business expenses and be having spiritual illusions stripped back. But I let everything that wasn't for me fall away, and I took this skill set of perspective, of art, of visuals, even the stuff like the videography, because we're doing that now, the web design, I'm doing that now, but I'm doing it with freedom for a purpose that I stand for, which is this. So some of these things that we hate or have been struggling with have actually been teaching us skills that we can go take and apply in a new way, in a different way. And now we're strong, now we're very knowledgeable, and now we have muscle memory to do things that used to be very hard. So we can actually create easily and have that peace, have that sense of peace in our life.
Yeah. And I think you, Niko, you set a really good example for all of us who are on this path, because you just embody that whole trinity of business, spirituality, purpose so well. You have found ways to be profitable and abundant in ways that serve your purpose, your lifestyle, and I'm sure more to come, but just where you are now is quite inspiring to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I hope to like show people that you can create something new out of the pieces in front of you, and that's kind of like always your purpose. I think at this point in time, the way I see things, like in an infinite universe, we keep thinking we've got to like slot ourselves into what already exists, but what already exists is all in motion. It's all changing. It's all affected by cause and effect already. We're artists living and breathing in an artwork, and we can mold and create what we want, what we choose with the pieces in front of us. It's not about fitting into what already exists.
That brings up a lot of a really important question. So what I've witnessed, like the individuals who are going through this purging of karmic ties are also changing jobs and taking risks, and one of the things that they're sacrificing is that stable income and the safety of the system.
Safety of community is what I want to say. Sorry, I just wanted to like throw a card that doesn't exist as a card. Oh shit, yep, solar plexus, wheel of fortune, and emotional expression. That was so what I was feeling. But sorry to cut you off, you can keep talking, but I was almost going to say that there's this like abundance is in community, in 2026. So
Amen.
finances are an aspect of our abundance and resources, but they're a symbol for value. If we go back to community and we know what our value is and what value we need, we know how to arrange that and accommodate each other without worrying so much about numbers. Because what happens in a world where everyone's fucking worried, excuse my French, but literally, like, watch Metropolis. If you, like, this is the nightmare thing that is my life purpose. It's like, people turn their head, they're not in their heart. We focus on numbers as if they're fucking everything. They're not. Money is not everything. It's a symbol for value. And yes, we all want to have money. Yes, we all want to be abundant. But there's too much focus on the numbers and how we get it. And that's what makes us sheep. That's what makes us like robots, because we're willing to do whatever number they'll put in our head or in front of us for what they need us to do. But there's this whole energy coming in of more community, more holding each other and holding accountability for each other and what we need, and distributing those resources, and not necessarily always having money front and center of that conversation. It's more about like what resources do we have access to, who's providing for what. I'm doing this for you, you give me a bit of this, you give me a bit of that, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that. That kind of energy.
Decentralized money? Decentralized money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think too though, like people are gonna come, that I always see like in the coming year, especially with coming year, 2026, 27, this is something that I definitely see like really, more so like 27 is like nail on the head, is what it feels like. There will be like a shift with the AI thing. So AI may actually speak into this conversation when I talk about resources. So AI may shift what money is, what the numbers are, because money is controlled subjectively, because we don't really, I don't think humans can say that we have this full grasp of all our resources and people and their value to say this is worth this is worth that, this is how much money there is. If money is infinite and energy is infinite, and then the matter is still energy, it's an arrangement, matter is an arrangement of energy. The money is a symbol for the energy, right? It's not about like, it's not really about the money, it's about the value, it's about the resources, it's about the services. That's what I think we're getting clear on, and that's what I think AI is actually going to help us with. So it's going to be like, okay, well, we have this much of this resource, this is its value, this can be distributed this easily, or this is worth a lot of money because it's more valuable or it's less available. Like that kind of stuff is going to start to come in 2027, AI touching finances. Is what I want to say. 2026 feels like more like going back to community. Maybe some of the social civil rights things that come up in 2026 actually lead to that happening in 2027. So I hope that helps people get a bit out of their head about money. Get more in your head about, get more in your body and your heart space, to be honest. But if you're thinking about money, think about value and what value you can create, what value you already have, and what is of value out in the world.
And also, like, let's not forget the money fees is a program. It's a template set by the system to keep us feeling stuck, to keep us feeling indebted to the system that's at place. And I want to be careful. There's no spiritual bypass in here, okay? We still exist in a system that functions on money.
Yeah.
You're still gonna pay your rent or your mortgage. You're still gonna have to pay the groceries. You're still gonna need money, so don't do something crazy and put yourself in a situation that puts you in a scarcity mindset even further. But I think just pulling away energetically from that fear mindset, realizing it's a template that only exists in your...
I was just laughing because I'm like, I meant to show this when she says walks away from the fear mindset. Keep going.
Walking away from that template, just claiming your strength back from that fake template, and that can be really hard if you have big responsibilities that require finances. And it's honestly just a mindset shift. The mindset shift will show you what to do. It's not... What's coming to me is like, don't take action and then that action is going to remove the fear. Like, don't quit your job and then like thinking that will remove the fear from the finances. Face the fear, and then maybe, for an example, quit the job.
Yeah. Some people just need to get out of situations. I do acknowledge that too. Some people are like, there's some people who I've been in, like, I'm gonna like put my foot down, and I agree 100% with what you're saying. But I'm also just gonna like add a little bit of another perspective in here to accommodate like other people, because I've been in working for employers when I was younger in retail where I'm getting sexual harassment, I'm getting doors fall on me, I'm being overworked, everything is hurting me physically, I'm not getting time to go to lunch. I found out someone who was on parole as a boss who was abusive. But like these situations, you leave.
They're individual.
Yeah.
Individual.
There's some very individual people where it's like, if this place is this distressful, you got to get out of it before you can even get your stability. But some people who are there's like a good, what I'm talking about, I'm definitely feeling in 2026 as like there's value, we're feeling our value and abundance in a new way, because there is a bit of a scam with money in the system, isn't there? But if we know our value and what resources we have, you can't scam us. We can arrange the value and the resources and our needs and meet each other's needs without being manipulated by numbers on a screen. So some people who cannot attract finances, this is what I wanted to add lastly, because this is what was coming up. You can keep going, but I just wanted to add something. So fitting, root chakra. Some people are going to have a blockage, like real spiritual people, shamanistic, earth witchy people are going to be like not able to step out of alignment, because like, look, one just dropped off the flower, because your emotional guidance system is going to be turned up so much that you're going to feel the disparity when you're out of alignment. So some people, when you're out of alignment in a job, you're not going to get abundance, you're not going to get, you're going to be hit with this blockage. But if you follow your intuition, if you follow your emotions instead of fighting them and work with what's coming up somatically, you're going to find ease, you're going to find abundance, especially with the root chakra and finances.
I was teaching my partner this word actually, baraka. Baraka is an Arabic word. There's actually no English equivalent, but it's actually blessings multiplied when they're gathered.
Yes.
Something has baraka is something has abundant, even if it doesn't look very big. So one example of that is growing up in Morocco, we would all eat from one big plate at lunchtime, and everyone gets full. It looks like a lot, it's one big plate. But sometimes if someone is at work, someone is at school, someone can't be there, we have to divide the same exact portion we would be cooking every day. And there's no baraka in food that's been divided. Now everyone is getting a tiny like small part, and you're not as full. Even though when we're together, we're eating the exact same.
I swear this is
amount.
the like literally alchemy, intention, witchcraft things, and this also reminds me of like Jesus and like what he was doing with the bread and fish and basically distributing and creating resources. When we're collectively coming together and we're collectively putting our focus on the resources we need, it takes no effort. And suddenly there's these matrix glitches where there's enough resources because we're all coming together and we're all co-creating and we're all focused in the same way, and it's in alignment. So there is this weird energetic hack in the matrix where there's suddenly abundance because focus is there and the energy flows through, the resources flow through. Oh, we're out of this plant, this resource. Oh, we're putting our focus into it, we're putting our focus into the environment. Suddenly there's an abundance of it. And that's like the community thing. That's the community collective focus. When we come together collectively and co-create and put our focus in that way, magic happens. More food.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is very like community energy, honestly. It was a bit more than I felt this year.
Yeah, I think the separation was necessary for us to dive deep. And the reason I mentioned karmic cycles and karmic ties, it felt very ancestral. It felt like anyone on the healing journey wasn't just dealing with their own shit.
Yes.
It felt like it was coming
Clearing
from
karmic curses and wounds.
karmics. So
cycles.
it could have been different lifetimes. It could have been your own family lineage. So it's the dragon and the snake. What do you expect from the dragon and the snake? Those are the most intense zodiac animals you can think of, one after the other.
It's like breathing fire, burning bridges, and then like being reborn. And then this year is like 2026 year is like skins off, moving ahead, no more bullshitting, no more bypassing, no more lying to yourself or other people.
No more false light.
Yes, that's exactly what I was freaking gonna say. That we're so in flow when like we do these things together. There's a lyric that like came through in a reading and before reading, and it was, I am the darkness, I am the light, there's nowhere to hide but in plain sight. Because you are your darkness, you are your shadow, and you are your light, and now we can't be like, I'm just this persona, because this is still here. We've got to come into a state of alignment and cohesion with ourselves, all our aspects, the full truth of ourselves. So that's this year. It's like we should have felt that split already.
Momentarily.
Release, hopefully.
I'm feeling quite intense of that conversation now. How are you feeling? Not intense, almost tired.
Yeah, we can wrap this up now. I think it's like a natural close, but it's good. Do you want me to do some cleansing, clearing energy art?
That would be amazing.
But I'm so glad that we recorded this, because when I channel, I can process things more when I watch it back. And I think if we share it, some people definitely get like some great perspective. And maybe we can make this like, like a routine if
that was so natural. It felt so exciting to do. I actually could have gone for many hours because we have so much to say and different skill set. Oh my god, that was actually so fun to do.
Yeah, thank you. Well, for the sake of YouTube, I will I'll wrap it up for YouTube.
Yeah,
but I agree, because I want to keep this in. I want to keep this bit in of you being excited, because I feel this excited. But yeah, so thank you if you joined for this general reading on the energy upcoming in 2026 with me, Salwa. I will put this on my YouTube so you can subscribe there. Salwa may also repost this and I'll put her details in the YouTube video so that you can keep up to date with what we're both working on, and you can subscribe and catch us for future readings. But I hope this got you a little bit prepared for the upcoming year.
And tell us what you think the new zodiac year is bringing. Obviously, this is a collective co-creation, what we put into existence. So what do you feel like the horse represents to you, so that we can tap into that energy as well with you and strengthen it?
Yes, so to clarify, it's very much like, so in tarot, I don't know if everyone's like familiar with tarot because I'm obviously coming from my perspective, but it's like the Chariot card, which has horses on it, and every time we see like horses in spirituality, we think of like forward moving energy, change. It's like masculine, forward momentum, being very like, this is the year that things get done, like change actually happens, those things are built, like we are actually like very forward focused energy. So that is just like what I get for the whole year of the horse, and that's the association. It's very much that of the energy of the tarot card, which is the Chariot, which you can also, I feel like you can Google the Chariot after this if you're watching it, and just see what resonates. Like I know there's all these different associations, but that's the energy of the year for me. Very much.
I'm so glad you like added that, because at the start I said, whoever's watching, let us know what you think this year is ending. So I'm really glad like you summarized that all together in one sentence.
Okay.
But again, for anyone who's watching, please tell us what you think the year of the horse will be.
Yes, comment, share your perspective. Be great to tune in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Until next time, everyone.